So, as Father mentioned at the beginning of Mass, we're in the third week of our Steps of Discipleship series. And this week it's E for engage. So, in your pews, there's a sheet of paper. If you could take one and pass it along. Just need probably one per family. Not everybody needs one. E for engage. And engage means that we come together in smaller, more intimate groups to help one another grow as disciples of Jesus. So that is engage. We come together in smaller, more intimate groups to help one another grow as disciples of Jesus. And if you look at this sheet, there are over 20 small groups already in effect here at Holy Redeemer. So, to become engaged, it's really quite easy. You can join one of these small groups, or maybe you want to start your own small group. Maybe you have a bunch of friends and you get together and just drink coffee or wine or whatever it is. And, so you have that group of friends already. Why not do something to help each other grow as disciples of Jesus? So you can start your own group, and we can help you do that if that's what you wish. But there are over 20 on this list here. So, to become engaged, you can choose one of these. You can sign up at all the doors for one of these groups. There's more information on each of these groups at the doors. So if you want to take more and pray about it and think about it, you can do that too. So if you look at the top of that sheet, it's really easy to become engaged. It says sign up for small groups at the door, or go to holyredeemerburton.org, or contact Molly Muxlow. So it's easy for us to become engaged. But why in the world would we want to do that? And I think if we take a look at what was going on in the gospel today with Jesus, we might get a hint. So Jesus, with this reading in the Gospel of Mark, was beginning his journey to Jerusalem. And he told his guys what was going to happen when he got there, right? He was going to suffer, he was going to be rejected, he was going to be killed, and then rise 3 days later. So that must have disturbed his disciples. And we know it disturbed Peter so much that he pulled Jesus aside and he kind of yelled at him for saying that stuff. And no, that's not going to happen. We're not going to let it happen. So Jesus was just beginning this journey, and he runs into his first obstacle, and it's one of his own guys. It's Peter. And actually, it was Satan using Peter, especially his mouth, to trip Jesus up. Maybe convince him not to go on this journey and not to do his Father's will. So in our journey of discipleship, we run into obstacles too. So 3 of them came to mind as I was praying about this week. The first one that came to mind is got a name. It's not Peter, but it's something that I think Satan uses to keep us from growing as a disciple. And the first one I thought of was named busyness. The busyness of our lives with work and school and families and sports and music and band and drama and whatever else that we fill every waking moment of our lives with. We get to that point where it's like, you know what? I don't have time for one more thing. I don't have time to serve anybody. I don't have time to even think about what tithing means, let alone try to do it. Pray? No way. I'm too tired. I can't. When I get home, I just collapse. I'm exhausted. Share my faith? I got nobody to share it with. So right now, I don't have time for this stuff. So guess what? Maybe I'll do it later. Maybe when the kids are older. Maybe when football season is over. Maybe after school's over for the summer. Maybe after I retire. I'll do it then. So, what that obstacle named busyness does, it delays us from growing as a disciple. We're not going to do it right now, but we might do it later, so we're delayed. The other obstacle, its name is, I can't remember what it is. Well, this one is called anger. So, especially with all the stuff going on in the church right now, if we only focus on those bad things and ignore all the good that the church does, we can get really angry to where we don't want to be associated with this place anymore or with these people anymore. Nothing matters anymore. So, guess what? I'm just going to leave. I'm out of here. I've had enough. So, that obstacle called anger, if we fall for it, that throws us right off the tracks into nothingness, and we're lost. The other one I thought of is named complacency. So if you ever hear yourself saying, I'm good enough, that's it. There it is, complacency. Yeah, I don't need to serve. I do a little bit. That's good enough. Tithe, I give enough money. I'm not going to give any more. It's good enough. Pray, well, I pray before meals. That's good enough. Share my faith? No, I haven't done that in a long time. I don't think I need to. I'm good enough right where I am. So if we find ourselves saying that obstacle, complacency, that stops us dead in our tracks. Because we're not going to do anything more. There's no plan to do anything more. We're just good enough the way we are. So there's a whole bunch of other obstacles we run into too. And when Jesus ran into his obstacle named Peter, he took care of it right away, right? He said, "Get behind me, Satan." So Jesus knew what was going on. So what about us? How can we practically deal with all those obstacles we come up against when we're trying to grow as a disciple? Well, here's a hint, and it was in the video. We cannot do it alone. Pope Francis said that if we live apart, it is very, very, very difficult to fight and resist the temptations and the snares of the devil and the selfishness of the world. So as we grow as disciples, we do it together, side by side with one another. And that's why we engage one another. That's why we come together in small, intimate groups and help each other grow as disciples. We engage one another so we can encourage and support each other when we're struggling with stuff. We engage one another so we can comfort and support each other when we're really suffering with something. We engage and support each other, or we engage each other to celebrate and laugh and have a good time together. We engage one another to inspire each other to keep going. Take that next step when we don't feel like it, or we're afraid, or just want to give up. So we engage one another to grow and help each other grow as disciples. And all of us can do this. All of us can do this. And we've shown you how to do it. And you know, when we're engaged, we don't have to rely only on ourselves anymore. When we're engaged with that group, we are in the presence of Jesus in that group. And what's really cool is we finally realize I don't have to do this by myself anymore. And that sure is comforting for me to know I don't have to do this by myself. And when we're engaged, we can do things that we could never, ever do alone. And when we're engaged, we can find a peace and a love and an understanding that is beyond our wildest dreams. So, it's time to take the next step. It's time to get engaged.